Hi viewers, another episode of Guest with Nazir. We are honored today's personality has a lot of responsibility, education, charity work, civic duties. Our guest is Sughra Begum. Welcome in our show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to Sheffield Live.
Sughra, please tell our viewers about your early days in this country.
I came to England in 1970, early 70s, and most of my childhood, and I've grown up here, and so been here 48 years.
So, coming from Pakistan and then a society where you have a totally different language, how you will explain those early days?
I did go to school. I was one of the very lucky girls to go to school, but I hadn't got to that stage when you start learning English. So when I came here, I had to start from beginning as a beginner. But within 5 or 6 months, I went to a language centre and soon learned English and was back in the junior school.
And in terms of the college, what qualifications you completed?
I've got advanced diploma in management studies, as well as teaching in further education, basic skills qualification, because most of my life I've taught English as a second language. I've now been in senior management.
So when we talk about the women empowerment and education, how you take this subject, because obviously you have seen different level of education, and also you have seen so many students empowering them with education. So how you discuss this subject in your own views?
It's a human right to be educated, so it's really, really important that we get the education is for all. So for men and women, for boys and girls, and all over the world. So I really believe in education because you give the gift of learning. Once you've got that gift, actually you can take it into any sector. But people actually who go to university, I think they do much better in their careers, and they can escalate their career and achieve much more and higher salaries, higher paid jobs, etc.
So as a teacher, when you join the profession, so what difficulties you have faced? Because obviously in every profession you come, you have hurdles, you have difficulties. Have you seen any, different patches or difficult patches?
Originally I fell into teaching because I used to organize a group for mothers who had deaf children or hearing impaired children, and I did some cover and they really liked my teaching, and so then I continued teaching, and I did the certificate in education for post 16, and also then had to do a basic skills qualification in order to be able to teach literacy, numeracy and ESOL. In those days, people thought, a woman working, why can't your husband provide for you?
So it means it was a challenge.
It was really challenging from my family, from my parents, because my parents actually thought that women actually should not earn, a man should not live off a woman's earning. But a woman can enhance the
education
family
and contribute to society.
And contribute in so many ways. I've heard that people want a female doctor. Now, if you do not let your daughter or wife go and become a doctor, then how can you want the services of a doctor?
Of course.
So really, it was really, really groundbreaking work that I did for my family, because now I paved the way. My daughters have graduated, my nieces have graduated, and they have done extremely well. So it was difficult and challenging, but it's fine.
We may say you are the pioneer of this trend. So you have started in your family.
Absolutely. I think I paved the way.
And when we talk about the education for the women, at the same time, obviously you have worked a number of years in education. So you must have a lot of students who have achieved so many goals. You have done fantastic in their life. So any success story, we are not here to put a one specific personality, but obviously we can share some success stories here for our viewers.
Well, my students from Rotherham College, they went into nursing, physiotherapy, so some of those health areas. My ESOL students have done extremely well. Some have set their own business up, gone to university, again, become geologists and all those type of like professions. Because when the asylum seekers came from Iran and Iraq, etc., some of them actually were professionals in their own country, and it was just a matter of learning the language. So once they learned the ESOL language, they were well away.
So you have vast experience of working with the adult education. So when we say the integration in society, and recently government has taken number of steps. So how you take these steps, and how beneficial for the society these are?
Well, I'm a member of the Cohesion Advisory Group and the Cohesion Hub, and basically we look at how to have cohesive communities. And so in education, it's just as important, because young people are in a stage of their life when they are just forming their personalities and their attitudes. So in college, for instance, we had British values. So we were looking at what are British values and how can we like follow the law, rule of law, democracy, having respect for others. So that was like embedded into the curriculum. And so in a wider context, I work with community organizations to look at how they can become more cohesive organizations in the way they employ people from diverse backgrounds, how they support them, how women are kind of like not entering certain type of like, fields such as engineering and construction and those type of things. So it's like, how can we encourage people to actually go into roles that are not traditionally thought of?
What is your view about the recent change? If obviously you want to apply for indefinite leave to remain, or you want to apply for British citizenship, so you have to pass life in UK.
Yes.
So how you take this? It's a good change, or how it is improving the life of the new citizens who are integrating in this society?
Well, I think put that to life in the UK and the way that is actually being, what you have to learn and the test. If we put that to one side for a minute, to learn English language, it is really important, And so if you're living in a country, you should know the language of that country. Because when my parents came, they got by. And over the years, they learned English for going to the doctor, shopping, etc. So they managed. But really, in order to integrate and do it very quickly, I think you need to learn the English language. Now, the Life in the UK test, it tests actually lots of things like knowing about the political systems, knowing about the history, about sports, and all of those things actually, and it's really, really difficult. It is a difficult test to pass.
So it's a good thing, and I believe, and it is because obviously it's like a skill.
What I'm saying is that I think some of the questions are really, really difficult, and I don't think they're fit for purpose.
So it means it should be easier.
I think so. Yeah, it should have some more meaning about how to live in England, the UK, and the community. So
you have worked with a number of charities, and also you are also part of a very big charity organization. Please tell our viewers that what is the role of that charity organization and how you are working with not only within the Britain but also abroad.
Well, one of the things I learned as I grew up, as a teenager, that there were a lot of people doing volunteering and charity work and the benefits actually, and they were doing it for nothing. And I'm thinking, oh, this is fantastic. And so British people, I feel, are fantastic at, looking at social causes, trying to support them through fundraising, etc. So I am chair of a charity in Rotherham called the Tasbih Organisation, and we've been going for 25 years or more. But then, my colleague Khalda Lukman, who is the CEO of the charity, when her husband and her went to Pakistan, they saw that actually some parts of rural Pakistan still don't have buildings that are fit to be called schools. And so we set up a school in Pakistan, and yesterday we celebrated its 10th anniversary, which was fantastic.
So which part of Pakistan it is?
It is a village near Sialkot. because that's the area that the Lukman family are from.
So it is. I think it's a one of the, I think, good way to pay back what Allah and has given you, and also we are in a very, I think, blessed society, because the schools are fantastic, universities are fantastic. So who's providing the funding for these all projects?
Well, it's self and community funded. So, we all contribute. It's whether it's Sadqa Jariya or your zakat, or simply, setting up a sponsor. And this is part of Islam, isn't it? I mentioned about how in the British society I noticed that people volunteer and do lots of fundraising. I think today was Macmillan's coffee kind of thing. So people are raising money for cancer charity. But in Islam, to give zakat and sadqa actually is a fundamental pillar. So, and it's in our blood, it's in our faith, and we should do it. And I think that's why my heart's with that charity, because you are, when you've achieved something yourself, and you gain self-esteem and self-actualization, then you start doing things for other people. And alhamdulillah, I have achieved, and Allah Ta'ala has given me so much that I cannot thank Him so.
Congratulations. But at the same time, please tell our viewers, recently you've been given responsibility, I will say a civic responsibility. What is that role and how it works, and what are your main responsibilities?
Well, it's been a year since I was appointed a Deputy Lieutenant for South Yorkshire. It's been an honour, because in that role you are representing Her Majesty the Queen and the monarchy, and because the royal family cannot be in all communities, the Lord Lieutenant has then deputies and who then can attend functions, go to charity events, give talks, speeches, and also there are awards. There's the Queen's Award, there's other awards that we try and encourage people to actually go for those awards, as well as the garden party, people nominate for MBs, etc. So the role is doing all of that work.
So it means you have a busy routine with your civic duties also?
Yes, but I like to be busy. I'm not one of those people. I think I want to make sure that every moment actually is a worthwhile moment.
Because these appointments are also very important. How you see the role, because obviously you are in a community, at the same time you are working in a role. So how it is important that these roles are, how they are helping, especially I will say, the community cohesion and relationship between community and the different organizations.
Well, that's it. Sheffield and South Yorkshire, I would say, have very diverse populations, and so to have deputy lieutenants then from those backgrounds is equally important, because then we can represent our community and promote those communities, as well as actually trying to embrace the British, the English groups as well, and try and it's not a one-way street. It has to work both ways. So in this role, actually, recently I attended an event. It was a arts and craft event, and it was lovely to see actually that there were people from Pakistani background, Arabic, African, who were then promoting their crafts as well. So, but majority of them were white people, and it was really, really fantastic, local people as well as people from other parts of England.
Sughra, you have visited that school particularly, you have mentioned earlier in your conversation. I would like to share your experience with our viewers that when you went there, especially your conversation with the students, with the teachers. Please, quickly, if you can share a few points with our viewers.
Yeah, after 10 years I went there, and it was a delight to see that some of the younger girls had now grown up, and how confident they were in the way they spoke English, the aspirations. They want to be doctors, they want to be engineers, teachers, etc. and that. And when people seem to think that the people in rural areas especially, they don't want their girls to go to school. That's not the case. I found that parents aspire for their daughters to attend school, but it's because they haven't got the means, they haven't got the income to send all of their children to school, and so sometimes girls don't get there. But our school is absolutely, we have free places, we have places for people if there's no income, widows' kids, etc. But some people pay a little bit towards the school, which is a good idea as well if people can pay. And so the teachers are educated, bright, professional people. And when I did one of my workshops on active learning, you will not believe the word differentiation was mentioned. I'm thinking, yeah, you know, education is well and truly kind of like international and global. Because for me, I wanted to see what the teaching and learning is like. We're trying to like take across strategies from the UK and the curriculum.
Do you think in that institute you can introduce in evening, especially for the adult learning education and also the technical trainings? Because I feel when you have mentioned that the people have some economic barriers to send their children to the education. So I think that is another empowerment you can do, that if the people economically, they have some skills, obviously they will go into the jobs and the jobs will bring money, money for the family.
Well, you know, this is it. You know, we've set the school up. We've got 13 teachers. We've got a head teacher, a deputy head teacher. That's 15 people employed where they wouldn't have been employed. We've got a caretaker. We've got volunteers who are learning really, really key skills. Now, one of our teachers actually has just opened her own school.
I see.
You know, women power, you know. So it's fantastic. And our head teacher is a male, deputy head teacher was a male as well, you know, and the community really take part in the school. Now we have a Friday prayer session for women as well. And so we have around about 50 to 100 women coming, whereas they wouldn't have had any type of social interaction, you know, as well as learning about faith. And because faith is something that we get piecemeal, we don't really truly understand Islam and practice it.
Because we are going to end of the show, so please in few words you explain that what is the importance of charity work?
It's about giving what you received, and I feel that, you know, Allah Ta'ala has like given me so much that I just want to give it to other people and give that gift.
So spreading your wealth and spreading your knowledge is a charity, what I understood from your
Absolutely, yeah.
conversation.
Giving time is charity. Doing something for someone is charity. It's not just about handing over money.
Sughra, what is your message for our viewers? Because at the end, I always ask my guests to please give your message, because the whole world is watching you.
I would say, you know, make each moment count. Don't waste time. Make it positive. You know, we only have one life and we need to enjoy our life, live it to the best of our ability, and actually go for the big picture.
Sughra Begum, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Viewers, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Keep watching Sheffield Live. In next week, we'll bring new personality, new CV, new show. Keep watching Sheffield Live. Thank you.